Hi, this is Jay with Jsaidit, and it's gonna be kind of like a little read for those underneath the sign of Pisces. Um, what I wanted to start out with was to draw some archetype cards. So this will kind of be like what's your archetype? What are some of the archetypes that you have that are the most active in your psyche? Okay, what archetype are you exuding, or are you presenting as currently? And this is going to be for today going through to Sunday, so we can cover the weekend. Okay, but this is for those underneath the sign of Pisces, and I'm going to draw some other cards from other decks as well. But first, we're going to start with the archetype cards. All right, let's get to it. Alrighty, so guys, let's go ahead and get us some archetype cards for what is Pisces presenting as currently and going forward through the weekend. Let's get it. Talk that mess, talk that shit, talk it loud, talk it true. What are some of the archetypes that Pisces is going to present as today going through to the weekend? I'm going to do, I think, 3 more shuffles. That's a lot. Do 1 more shuffle. Okay. So we have artist. Light attribute is expressing a dimension of life that is just beyond the 5 senses, inspiring others to see life symbolically. If you're using your shadow attribute, you're going to be using your talents as an excuse to mistreat others, posing as the starving artist to elicit pity. Alrighty? So one of the things that could be is you or someone with around you that is exhibiting this can be represented by the figure that you see in the center. Okay, that could be a red head, very fair skin. So any of those things can correlate. Okay. Alchemist. In the light attribute, transformation of base motives and goes into golden wisdom. And your shadow attribute, it could be a misuse of power and knowledge that comes through spiritual practice. Okay, so someone could be misusing their gifts if we're in the shadow aspect. Again, the color could be the photo in the center could be relevant. It could represent that person or things around that person or in the vicinity of that person. Alrighty, so next up we have bully. The light attributes is highlights your tendency to intimidate others, helps you confront the inner fears that bully you. Your shadow attributes on this is conceals deep fears behind verbal or physical abuse. And basically you can see this is someone who's full of hot air. Bullies are usually full of hot air or full of shit, but hot air. Alrighty, next we have beggar. Light attributes confronts empowerment at the level of physical survival, awakens the spiritual authority of humility, compassion, and self esteem. In your shadow attributes, dependency on others to the exclusion of effort. So you're depending on others to do everything for you, and you're not putting in any effort. Not going to get anything if you don't put in your own effort. Okay? But the picture might be relevant to you. And I'm getting, with this, I'm getting like people who like to hide away from everything. They don't want to see anything. They don't want to know anything. They don't want to hear anything. They just want to stick their head in the sand, which comes back around to no effort, low effort, and you will stay in the same position. that you're choosing to stay in with no effort. You will go nowhere. Okay. I am going to go deeper into the cards with the explanations from the book. But again, Pisces, it's going to be probably a long video because there were a bunch of cards that came out. Okay. Next, we have Avenger. Light attributes: desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. On the shadow side, resorting to violence in the name of a cause. Now, sometimes people think that because they have an end, that whatever means they take to get to the end are worthwhile. If it's not about your highest good or somebody else's highest good, it's a no. Those ends don't justify the means. Okay? So, this might be relevant to you. And I'm hearing worldwide to go along with that. So, take it how you take it. Next, we have athlete. Light attributes for this is dedication to transcending physical limits, including handicaps, development of personal willpower, and strength of spirit. On the shadow side, your shadow attributes: misuse of athletic ability for selfish ends, false sense of invulnerability, and entitlement. So, for this, I'm hearing that song. Whose song is it? I think it's a Busta Rhymes. The one with about your walking around with your ass on your shoulders. Okay? And that's for the shadow side. Somebody walking around with their ass on their shoulders. You can't smell the fresh air for all the stinkness of you running your mouth about yourself. You're so stuck up on yourself. Get your head out your ass and get your ass off your shoulders. That's the message for that. But picture might be relevant. And again, we are going to go into more depth on these things, okay? The next, damsel. Light attributes: understanding the nature of healthy romance, inspires you to rely on yourself. Now, you see, this is coming cross current to the beggar card, which is funny because sometimes you have the damsel in distress. But this is the damsel in distress versus the begging ass. Okay. But let's go into because you see, the shadow side of the beggar was depending on others with the exclusion of effort, not doing anything for yourself, but you want people to do stuff, do for you. Like, come on, stop playing. Faith without action. Okay. So let's come back to damsel. So on the shadow side, waiting for a knight to provide for you, seduction by romantic illusion. Waiting for a knight to provide for you. Now, we got the beggar and the damsel. Somebody being lazy. Somebody wanting other people to come save a hoe. Them. It's a no. They need you to get up off your ass, get up off your laurels, and do for yourself. If you're trying to get somewhere. Now, if you want to stay the same place you at, or if you want to sink further down, then do your baby. But if you are trying to ascend, if you're trying to get somewhere, you have to put in some effort. Your spiritual team won't even try to support you if they got to carry you the whole way. Why? Because your spirit team is not on this plane. They're on their own plane. They're on a separate plane from us. You're in the 3D. You need to function in the 3D. They can help you in the 5D. They can't help you in the 3D. That's for you to do. Okay? Let's go on. Next, you have the destroyer. Light attributes: releasing what is potentially destructive, preparing for a new life, new timeline, new shit, new everything. But that old timeline got to get dismantled. It got to get destroyed. It got to get taken apart so that your new timeline can come through. Okay? Shadow attributes: intoxication with destructive power, destroying others' dreams or potential. Somebody running around here messing up other people's destiny. Get your own shit. Leave them other people's stuff alone. Let that person go on their path to the greatness that they're supposed to be on. And you with your dusty ass, destroyer. That person who's out there destroying other people's destiny. Get off your ass and do for self. Stop riding on the coattails of somebody else because their path is not your path. Your path is not their path. Get on your own. Alrighty? Next, slave. Light attributes: surrendering your power of choice to the divine with complete trust. This I'm hearing like the fool card. The fool wholeheartedly trusts that things will work out for them. They step out on faith. And if you ever notice that those fools in life around us, they tend to do pretty well. Why? Because they're not holding on to any negative thoughts about the outcome of things. They're very optimistic. And in their optimism, they attract more of that. Okay? So let's look. Shadow attribute: giving your willpower to an external authority out of fear of making your own choices. This comes back to being lazy. Again, this is relying on somebody else to do for you. And guess what you end up being? A slave, a puppet, a brainless dummy. Is that you? This can't be a Pisces. I know this ain't a Pisces. Pisces, get it together. Us Pisces don't roll like that. Can't be a Pisces. This got to be somebody attached to a Pisces. Please tell me this is not you, Pisces. If it is, get your ass in gear, Pisces, because we don't roll like that. Alrighty? And your last card, healer. Light attributes: passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit. Ability to help transform pain into healing. Okay? So, on the shadow side, taking advantage of those who need help and failing to care for oneself. Failing to care for oneself falls, and see, that was confirmation. I know you heard that. Failing to care for oneself falls in line with us being a dusty damsel in distress, an old begging ass person. And then combining all of that, you become a destructive person. Because in you choosing not to do for self, somebody else is choosing to do for you or to help you. And in doing that, they are changing their life path. They are changing what could be for them. They're picking up your load. It's not fair for anybody to have to carry more than their own load. So for somebody to have to run around carrying you and your shit too, in addition to their own, failing to care for oneself. It's okay to not care for your own self, but don't put nobody else into it. Keep it to yourself. Don't go bothering or asking nobody else to help you if you're not helping yourself. Damsel, beggar. Don't go asking nobody else to help you. You know why? Because if you want to be a slave, you could be it by yourself. And we're going to not harp on all of that because we do have some good attributes here. You know, you do have that balance of being that healer, the avenger, like the vigilante that takes care of those who can't take care of themselves. There's a difference between those who can't take care of themselves and those who choose not to take care of themselves. Okay? Avenger, athlete, artist, and I'm going to top it off with alchemist. Go ahead and transmute that. If you've been on your dusty damsel, dusty beggar mentality and behavior, go ahead, heal yourself. Transmute that into your more positive qualities because you have a lot of them here. Okay? Let me see if we could do the book. I don't think I'm going to do the book because I got messages outside of that. So we're gonna leave this where it is. This is Jay with Jsaidit. I can be found on YouTube under at Jsweat69. And this has been like a reading for Pisces to cover from today or whenever it finally posts until Sunday. Okay. Alrighty, I hope it has been of help to you. Have a great one.